Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Bookmas. Merry Christmas first and foremost. I believe this video is going to be coming out right after Christmas, so I hope you guys enjoyed your gifts. I hope you guys had a very Merry Christmas. I certainly did. And now it's time for me to wrap up Bookmas as well. I had such grand plans for this Bookmas, but unfortunately I was only able to produce 5 videos, but nonetheless I'm very proud of myself because, you know, 5 videos is better than nothing. I am just starting out my journey. We're getting there. I'm learning the hang of things, and you know, I actually enjoyed it so much. I'm definitely gonna be doing that next year. We're gonna hope maybe for like 12 or maybe actually every day of Christmas. I don't know. Like I said, I am still very new to this, but I'm having fun, so I hope you guys are having fun as well. A little foreshadowing with the Christmas mug with my hometown on it, because this is what's waiting for us in the future, you guys. We are going to be traveling to Europe, so stay tuned. As of right now, we are gathered here today to talk about the end of the year book tag. Now, I was not going to make this video. I had an idea for a completely different video to wrap up my Vlogmas, but you know what? I saw my absolute favorite booktuber girlies, Emmy, Mariana, and Larry making the similar videos, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to take the questions and I'm going to answer them as well about the books, because the girlies were having such good reading years, and I was listening to it and I was like, oh, I'm so happy for them because mine sucked. Who's to blame for that, you're gonna ask? Nobody. Nobody but me. I'm the only one. I'm the problem. I really am the problem. First of all, I did not meet my reading goal this year. I always had a reading goal of 50 books. And by always, I mean 1 year in a row or 2 years in a row, because I started reading back as an adult in 2022, kind of. I was just like dabbling into it. And then 2023, I was able to meet that goal. 2022, I was also able to meet that goal. 2024, we're not gonna talk about her. Reading, personal life, career-wise, or whatever, none of that. Out the freaking window. Nevertheless, I do have all the questions on my phone. We're gonna answer them together. We're gonna have a little fun. I'm gonna vent a little bit. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And the first question did not come to play. We have most disappointing book of the year. This read, I'm gonna fully blame on the book girlies on the internet. They let me down on this one. Do not trust them. I still cannot believe that I read this book. It was so dumb. I hated it so much. It was just like, there was no recovery from it. And it was also almost 800 pages. Yes, I'm talking about Fairy Tale by Veronica Lancet. I don't know if I should tell you like the plot or the synopsis of the story or anything. It is a fantasy. It's a dark fantasy, gothic vibes. We are following our main character. She is an orphan. She gets this weird letter from her deceased father. She travels to this small town, Fairy Tale. Now me asking if I should give you the synopsis, and I'm like, I don't think so. And then I'm actually giving you the synopsis. You're welcome, guys. She travels to the small town, and then everything is like, oh my God, there's like magic, weird shit starts happening. She kind of like slips in time or travels back in time, and then she realizes that she's like a doppelganger. Anyways, guys, it did not need to be 800 pages. I wasted so much time. I purely read it out of rage. I was fueled by rage when I was reading this book, just like now, talking about it. I wasted about a week on that book. I was like reading it consistently, every waking moment. Maybe it is actually a testament to this book being not as bad as I'm painting it to be, because I was actually reading it and I wanted to know how it ended, but I was cackling and laughing all the way, and not in a good way. The main love interest, don't piss me off. Like I said, the girls let me down on this one, but we will forgive them and we will move on. The most disappointing read, Fairy Tale. I said my piece. The most underhyped book for 2024. To me personally, it is Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. Why are people not talking about this book? And I think if they are talking about this book, we're not talking about this book enough. This book needs to be required reading at every single school, pre-K, middle school grades. I don't care. You need to read this book. If every person in the world read this book, I think the world would have been such a better place to exist and to live in. This book was so good. Did you guys hear that? Not my cat's literally trying to like claw through the door. Let me let the beasts in. I'm back. They will literally want to leave this room in like 3.5 seconds, but we're gonna try to persevere. As I was saying, Under the Whispering Door, truly a masterpiece. In this book, we're following Wallace. He is a very hard-headed lawyer, and he also is a little bit of an ass. Like, he treats people like trash. He does not respect anybody. He's very like, career oriented. He's not a good human. He dies. Then he meets a set of characters that are helping him pass through whatever limbo he is in right now at the moment as we're like reading the book to, you know, beyond. We don't know what's beyond. It's a whispering door. Nobody knows what's there until they die and actually open the door. So we're following Wallace's journey, and I'm not doing this book any justice. I uploaded shorts with my process of reading this book. The ugly crying. It was literally me just like crying for 60 seconds straight. I could not contain my tears. It's such a beautiful book. Please read it. It's so underhyped. I don't see it online enough. I don't. Next question is, what is an overhyped book that I read in 2024? Hands down, Lights Out. I did not like this book. I'm sorry. It was not for me. I was not the target audience. I listened to it. It was okay. I giggled a little bit. But then like at around 60%, we could have just like wrapped it all up. The last few hours of an audiobook, because you know, everybody told me to listen to an audiobook in that one. I was like, oh my God, yes, I absolutely loved it. No, I didn't. Literally the last few hours, I was listening it to a 3.5 speed. Yeah. It was just like not a good experience. The plot of the book, you don't need to know the plot. Just like don't read it at all. Okay, the plot of the book is that we have this TikToker. He posts thirst traps in a mask. There's this girl. She's a very, very horny nurse. She deals with like a lot of shit at work. So, you know, I get it. It's her like release. She follows him online, right? And then she kind of like jokingly comments on every single video of his and be like, ooh, if you were like in my house doing like the nasty to me or something, I'd be the happiest person ever. So he sees it online. Turns out that she's actually an ex-girlfriend or an ex-hookup of his roommate, and he's like, ooh, I'm gonna stalk her. And he breaks into her house, but like in a, you know, cute joking manner. And then, you know, he films a video there in her bedroom. She watches the video and she's like, oh my God, I have the same comforter. Girl, be so freaking for real right now. And it goes from there. They just like stalk each other. Then in the middle of the book, she actually like realizes who she is. And then the whole mystery of like the mask is gone. And that's where I was like, okay, we should have ended the book here. But we didn't. We persisted with the story. And then I don't know if it led us anywhere good. In my opinion, it did not, but you know. So yeah, overhyped, definitely overhyped. I will be reading the second book though, because I know that the book community, especially the girlies, will not be able to shut up about this book, and I will just have to like read it because I just want to be in the loop. A book that surprised you. For this one, I'm gonna definitely pick The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year by Ellie Carter. I had no idea that, in my opinion, what I thought is gonna be a silly, goofy holiday romance is gonna pack this much of a punch. I don't even know if that makes sense, but the plot was really interesting. The romance actually made sense. Someone who claims to be a romance hater, or actually a girly that just like does not really read romance because I can't find a romance that resonates with me. Welcome, beast number one. Show your face. She did not want to. I'm so sorry guys, she's camera shy. But yeah, for someone who like doesn't really read romance, because I think there's no substance to it, I'm sorry, but this one though, I really liked. Characters were good. The plot was good. We were following two writers, Maggie and Ethan. The fact that I remember their names, it stuck with me. So Megan and Ethan, they get an invitation from their allegedly biggest fan to spend Christmas with them in this English countryside mansion somewhere outside of London. They both go. There's a mystery happening. Somebody dies. They need to solve this. The romance happens, you know, along the way, but we also kind of learning about background of both Megan and Ethan. Megan? Yes. No? Maggie. Absolutely not. Her name is Margaret. We're following their like background stories, and we kind of find out why they are the way they are, why they don't like each other, and actually like she's the only one who just doesn't like. Anyways, it has the story behind the love plot, and I truly enjoyed it, and I was genuinely surprised to find it in a holiday romance book. Ellie Carter's Most Wonderful Crime of the Year is going to be the most surprising book of the year for me. My favorite book couples of the year. I did not read enough of good books to like be able to choose or from variety of books, but the ones that I read, I'm gonna say Wallace and Hugo from Under the Whispering Door. Yes, I will never shut up about this book. and Emily Wilde, and I think Bumblebee is his name. I don't know how to pronounce it. I was reading it as Bumblebee for real because I'm dyslexic as hell. So I don't know. I think it's Bumblebee, but it's from Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. New favorite author that I discovered this year. Again, TJ Klune. I will read the entirety of his backlog. I don't care. I don't care how much emotional damage it's gonna cause me. I'm gonna read it. Ellie Carter. Like I said, she surprised me pleasantly, so I'm gonna give her other books a go as well. Marcus Cleaver, he is the author that I believe only so far has just one published book, We Used to Live Here, but the chokehold that that book has on me, we're gonna talk about it a little bit later, but I truly cannot stop thinking about this book. So that man writes anything else, I'm gonna buy it and I'm gonna read it immediately. And of course, my queen, Julie Soto. Remember how I said I don't like romance? I really don't. But Julie Soto, I will read her. I will read her, and then the newest release that she has in 2025 that's gonna be based on like Hermione fanfiction. Don't even get me started. I am so pissed off that I cannot travel in time. Actually, wait, can I get an arc of that book? Pretty please. This one, I really did not know how to answer because what is the happiest book I read this year? I didn't really read any happy books. Well, some of them probably would make other people happy, but I just genuinely did not like them in that way. So I think I'm gonna answer Beach Read by Emily Henry, even though I know this book touches on like some heavy topics and there's some not very pleasant discussions, you know, considering like our main characters' histories and stuff. But still, this is probably one of those books that genuinely made me happy when I was reading it. And after I read it, I was left happy. Happiness was what I felt. But this is probably, I'm just gonna have to go with that because every other book either pissed me off in a way or just like wasn't happy book at all. So like, Beach Read, Emily Henry. It just has to be it. For the saddest book of 2024, I will have to go with Burnt Sugar. It was a very sad book about sad people and their sad lives. And it's a story about very complicated relationships between a mother and a daughter. And basically the daughter claims that her mom basically like ruined her life because when they were young, she didn't give her enough love and stuff like that. And she really wants to bathe in this hatred that she has towards her mom. And she wants her mom to like acknowledge all the bad things that she did to her when she was a child. But unfortunately for our main character, her mom got diagnosed with dementia. So she starts forgetting things and it frustrates our main girl to the max because she can't even be like in her face about all the bad things that happened to her in her childhood. It was a very complicated book for me to read. It was like me trying to get into like a lit fic, and I don't think it was a good choice for me, but nonetheless, it was a very sad book. And the plot itself was just like sad. Ooh, I was waiting for this one. The most frustrating book in 2024, The Uglies Trilogy. I swear to God, every time I picked up a book, it was like pulling freaking teeth. I know these books were written many years ago. I know I'm not the targeted audience for these books anymore. But did they have to be so bad? Like, I am sure if I went to reread Hunger Games, which I actually remember very close to nothing about the books, but I'm sure if I were to reread them, they would still be hitting like they hit many, many years ago when I was a teenager. These books, and I was reading them for the first time too, and I was like, oh my God, the first book was okay. Second book was literally the repeat of first, but we changed the scenery a little bit. And then the third one should not have existed at all. Like it added nothing to the story. The ending of the third book, allegedly the ending of the whole series, oh my God, literally like just like help me. There was a death of a character in the third book. It did not need to happen. We did not need to kill that said character. It brought nothing to the plot. I was just like, why did we get rid of this person? It was frustrating. I'm telling you, I'm literally getting riled up right now. It was so bad. Oh, this one's gonna be like a little controversial, but book I thought I'd love, but I didn't. and I have to go with Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. Before you yell at me, I am a Stephanie Garber stan. I read Caraval trilogy and I absolutely loved it. I think I read it all in one day, or maybe like 2. I remember borrowing one book from the library and I ate it up, and then I had to make it back to the library 10 minutes before they close so I can get second and third. I love stories about like princesses and, you know, puffy dresses and courtmanship and stuff like that. It reminded me of a Disney movie. I am a Disney girl. I enjoyed it so much. Not me choking on air. And then my friend is like, oh my god, you need to read Once Upon a Broken Heart. It is so cool, and it like continues where Caraval kind of ended off, and we're following some of the same characters. We get cameos from others, and I was like, oh my god, yes, sign me up. I kid you not, I started Once Upon a Broken Heart literally like at the beginning of 2024. I think it was like January, middle of January or something. I still have not read the 3rd book, I will confess, but it's just like the first 2 books, and I know a lot of the girls are like, oh my god, the 2nd book is like to die for. I did not like it. I really did not, and I'm scared now to read the 3rd one because I know there are like some kind of alternate endings or whatever, or we got the ending that we kind of knew we would, but not necessarily we wanted it. I don't know, it's so confusing. I'm scared to read this book now. I'm scared to finish the trilogy. But I'm very disappointed that I did not like that, because everything about it screams fairy tale, Disney, princesses, magic, and stuff like that. And I was really hoping that it's gonna give what Caraval gave me and I would like devour it. That did not happen. Book with the most unique plot, or the most unique book that I read in 2024. I have 2 contenders for this answer. The first one is The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monica Kim. Let me tell you, when I was reading this book, I was terrified of being in our main character's POV. I was like, what is this girl gonna drag me into next? She was so unhinged. So just like to recap a little bit, I don't even know where to begin. Like I really don't. She was so crazy. This book is such an interesting exploration of Korean American culture. We follow this girl, right? She has like a sister and she lives with their mom. Their mom is a single mom. Their dad left them. That triggered something in our main character as well. But then the mom got this American boyfriend. You know, he's like every single definition of misogynistic asshole that you can literally imagine. And then he obviously has like an Asian culture or Asian women fetish. But then suddenly our girl are like, ooh, I really like his blue eyes. I wonder what they gonna taste like. Ever since that moment, everything just went downhill. Like, it was so crazy. If you ever pick this book up, I truly enjoyed it. It was a very interesting story. It was a very unique story. I think it was a debut novel also. So like to produce this as your first book, help. But like I said, I was literally scared of reading this book genuinely, because I did not know where the line's gonna keep like moving, because we kept moving that humanity and like the gore and the horror thing, like just like back and forth, and I did not know where it's gonna end up. Second most unique book for me this year was We Used to Live Here by Marcus Kleber. I adored this book. I was kind of debating whether to put it in the most frustrating book or this, but I ended up in here. Why I was frustrated with this book? The plot twist in the book, crazy, absolutely, literally insane. But the ending of the book is what made me slightly psychotic. I wanted to like banker act myself because I was acting up. I still cannot believe that he had the freaking audacity to end the book like that and not even like produce a sequel. We're not getting a sequel. I don't think we are. I think it's literally a complete story. And the craziest thing about this book is that it was firstly written as a Reddit thread. So to compile the Reddit thread into a book and then blow my mind, the most unique thing, literally the most unique thing. I don't even want to tell you what this book is about. I really don't, but I'm pretty sure you've seen this book online. If you haven't, if you were still like debating whether to read it or not, read it. But then don't come for me. It was not my fault. Remember, it's all on Marcus. He's the one to blame. And we're gonna wrap this up with a book you wish you got to this year. And I will have to say, again, Sarah J. Maas universe. I wanted to read ACOTAR, Throne of Glass, and Crescent City yet again for a 3rd year in a row, and I never got to them. I know you're probably right now calling me a fake reader because I have not read any of that. I read the first book in Akatar series, but that I guess does not count because I know the best one is the second one. But yeah, I am making a mental promise to myself and to you guys that next year in 2025, I will be finally getting to Sarah J Maas, and I will jump on the bandwagon with everybody. And I know I'll enjoy the books. I'm just like kind of apprehensive a little bit of picking them up, and I just didn't have time this year. Actually, that's a lie. I had a lot of time. I just didn't use it wisely. Thank you guys so much for staying till the end of this video. Thank you for watching my Bookmas videos. I appreciate your love and support. I am very happy that I actually ended up trying Bookmas out for the very first time. I had so much fun doing this. I hope you had fun watching this as well. One of the reasons why I started this YouTube channel is to motivate myself to read more, and I hope I will stick to this in 2025. I wish you guys and myself a good reading year in 2025, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!